Hello there, and welcome to the podcast for education here on Africa Business Radio. Remember, this is exclusively brought to you by Africa Business Radio. And taking us through the world of mathematics today is Miss Quinn with the topic Solid Shape.
Hello learners, I'm Miss Quinn and I'll be your maths teacher for the day. I'll be teaching primary 2. So sit back and relax while we learn. Our topic for the day is shape, but we'll be focusing on solid shape. We'll be learning about the following on solid shape: the meaning, its attributes, examples of solid shape, real-life objects having solid shape form, and lastly, the attributes of the examples of solid shape. So, what's solid shape? Solid shape is an object that occupies space. It can be called concrete shape or three-dimensional shape. We can also call it 3D shape. So, we know that it has three attributes, which include the edges, the corners, and the faces. Remember, we said in the last class that the edges are the straight lines you see that make up a shape, and the corners are the points where two straight lines meet. The faces are the flat surface that forms part of a shape. A face is a two-dimensional shape or a plane shape that makes up each surface of a solid shape. We will get to discover this as we move on with our learning process. Now, let's see some examples of solid shapes and some objects around us that has these shapes. 1. We have the sphere. The sphere has the face of a circle. An orange, a football, a basketball is spherical in shape. 2. We have the ellipsoid. The ellipsoid has the face of an oval. An egg has the shape of an ellipsoid. 3. We have the cone. Our ice cream cone, popcorn cone you get when you go to the movies. Also, our birthday hats. All these have the shape of a cone. 4. We have the cylinder. A cylinder has two faces as circle. Your Coca-Cola can drink, water bottle, gas cylinder at home. Most of our beverages like Milo, Bonvita, and milk have the shape of a cylinder. And 5, we have the cube. Yes, our building block, sugar cube, ice cube, are dice, which are used all over the world for games. We have the Rubik cubes, also gift boxes. All these have the shape of a cube. 6, we have the cuboid. A cuboid has the face of a rectangle. And examples of object that has the shape of a rectangle, we have our lunch boxes, carton boxes, shoe boxes, a loaf of bread, our books, laptops, textbooks, and many more. Then we have the prisms. I say prisms because there are different varieties of prism depending on the side of its base. All prism has rectangular face but with different base top. Remember that the faces of every solid shape is an example of a plane shape. Real-life object that has the shape of a prism include our camping tents, triangular roofs, some chocolates, candy bars, and many more. In today's class, we'll be looking at 4 varieties of prisms, and this includes 7 triangular prisms. It has the faces of rectangle and a triangular base. 8. We have the rectangular prisms. It has the faces and base of rectangle. A rectangular prism can also be called a cuboid. So let's take 2 for the purpose of this class. We have the Pentagonal Prism. It has the faces of a rectangle and pentagonal base. Pentagon has 4 equal edges. 10. We have the hexagonal prism. It has the faces of a rectangle and hexagonal base. Hexagon has 6 equal edges. Lastly, we have the pyramids. I say pyramids again because there are also different varieties of pyramids depending on the shape of its base. All pyramids have triangular faces, but with different base top, and all edges meet at one point on top, called the apex. Real-life objects that has this shape of pyramid include a picnic tent, some perfume bottles, Christmas trees and decorations, and many more. In today's class, we'll be looking at 4 varieties of pyramids, and these include 11. Triangular base pyramid. It has the faces of triangle and a triangular base. 12. We have rectangular based pyramid. It has the faces of a triangle and the base of a rectangle. Also, pyramids with polygon base. Remember that polygons are plane shaped with more than 4 edges, so we'll pick 2 for the purpose of this class. We have 13. Pentagonal based pyramid. It has the faces of a triangle and a pentagon base. Pentagon have 5 equal edges. And lastly, we have 14. Hexagonal base pyramid. It has the faces of a triangle and hexagonal base. Hexagon has 6 equal edges. We've learned 14 examples of solid shape. Let's learn about the attributes of this solid shape. Remember, all solid shapes are 3-dimensional shape, so it has 3 attributes, which are the edges, the corners, and the faces. So we take it. We have the sphere. The sphere has no edge. It has no corner, but it has a face. It just goes perfectly round. Then the ellipsoid. It has no edges, no corners, but it has a face. It goes round, but not perfectly as round as a circle. We have the cone. The cone has 1 edge, it has 1 corner, and it has 2 faces. 4. The cylinder. The cylinder has 2 edges, it has 2 corners, and 3 faces. Number 5. We have the cube. The cube has 12 edges. It has 8 corners, and it has 6 faces. All the edges of a cube are equal. Then we have the cuboid. The cuboid also has 12 edges, 8 corners, and 6 faces, but opposite edges are equal. Now the prism. Remember that all prisms have a rectangular face, but with different base top. 7. We have the triangular prism. It has 9 edges, 6 corners, and 5 faces. All edges are equal but parallel. Number 8. Rectangular prism. Rectangular prism has 12 edges, 8 corners, and 6 faces. Then we have the pentagonal prism. The pentagonal prism has 15 edges, 10 corners, and 7 faces. All edges are equal. We have the hexagonal prism. It has 18 edges, 12 corners, and 8 faces. Also, all edges are equal. Lastly for today, we have the pyramids. Remember that pyramids have triangular faces, but with different base top, and all edges meet at one point on top called the apex. 11. The Triangular Pyramid. It has 6 edges, 4 corners, and 4 faces. All edges are equal. 12. The Rectangular Pyramid. It has 8 edges, it has 5 corners, and 5 faces. 13. We have the Pentagonal Pyramid. It has 10 edges, it has 6 corners, and it has 6 faces. And lastly, we have the Hexagonal Pyramid that has 12 edges, 7 corners, and 7 faces. Thumbs up to you learners for taking part in today's class. I'm super excited you've learned a lot about solid shape, and I'm sure you have too. Keep flexing your math muscles as we learn new concepts in maths. I'll see you in the next class. Till then, bye.
Thank you for listening to today's edition on the Podcast for Education here on Africa Business Radio. Remember, for feedbacks and anything you want us to know, you can hit us up across all our social media platforms, that is on Facebook and Instagram, Africa Business Radio, Twitter, Africa Biz Radio. Remember, you can listen to this particular episode or any other episode on our podcast channel going to www.africabusinessradio.com, which shall get you closed. Have fun.